Hey students, you know there's nothing like a good storage container. You put things into them that you want to keep for future use, and you take them out when you need them. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about storing information temporarily in a computer's memory while a program runs. If you watch this video in its entirety, you will be able to define the term variable, correctly type the syntax to declare a variable when a value is not immediately assigned, identify rules for naming variables in JavaScript, and identify the conventions for camel case and self-documenting code. I hope you're excited to learn. Let's get started. A variable is the name given to a temporary storage container in a programming language. As its name implies, a variable can vary while the program runs. For example, we may have a program with a variable called shirt total. At the start of our program, we begin with the number of shirts equal to the number 0. 3 shirts may be added, increasing the number in shirt total to 3. 2 more shirts could be thrown in, increasing the shirt total to 5. Then 1 shirt may be removed, reducing the number in shirt total to 4. As you can see, variables are invaluable for keeping track of numbers. They can also be used to track other information which may change during a program's run. Keep in mind that variables are temporary. They will be destroyed when the program terminates unless the information is stored permanently. To create a variable, we start with typing the var reserved word typed in all lowercase letters. This is followed by the name of the variable, which is called the identifier. In JavaScript, variable names must follow a few rules. Reserved words cannot be used as a name. You cannot name a variable var. Names can consist only of letters, digits, underscores, and dollar signs. All other characters on the keyboard are not allowed. The first letter of the name must begin with a letter, an underscore, or a dollar sign. Notice that digits cannot be the first character. Lastly, names are case sensitive. When we use the variable later in the program, we must type the name exactly the same way as we declared it. As an example, let's say we are tracking the number of hours an employee works, and we want to create a variable called hours worked. First, we'll type the var reserved word to indicate that we are declaring a variable. We'll type a space, then we'll type our identifier, hours worked. And you'll notice that the variable name has no spaces. Because spaces are not allowed in variable names, we only will be able to use letters, digits, underscores, and dollar signs. It's important to realize that creating a variable will not necessarily display anything on our web page. To produce output, we will need to use a function like the alert function. It's also important to notice that if we want to see what is stored in the variable, we do not type quotes around the variable name. If we did, the words hours worked with no spaces that we typed in the previous example would appear in the alert box because the alert function displays what appears between the quotes. Now we will add an alert function and type the name of our variable to see what value the variable is storing. We can save and run our code. And we see that the variable stores the value undefined. This occurs because we created the variable, but we haven't stored anything in the variable yet. When a variable is created and no value is assigned by the programmer, the variable is automatically assigned the value undefined. We call the process of giving a variable a value the assignment process. We will learn about assigning values to variables in a future video. For now, it's enough to know that undefined is the data type assigned to a variable when it is first created using the var keyword and an identifier. Before wrapping up, I wanted to point out that we followed two common practices in programming when we named our variable hours worked. First, we used a naming convention called camel case for typing the name. Camel-cased variable names require that the first word appear in all lowercase, and if there are any additional words in the name, the first letter of each word appears in uppercase. If I named my variable hours worked per day, I would type it like this. The second common practice that we used is we gave our variable a meaningful name. Since I named the variable hours worked, other programmers would know exactly what's being stored in the variable. By providing a meaningful name, we are producing self-documenting code that can be read and easily understood. So in this video, we defined the term variable. We typed the correct syntax for declaring a variable. We identified the rules for naming variables in JavaScript, and lastly, we identified the conventions for camel case and self-documenting code. I hope you found this information enlightening. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.